Hello everybody, we're back with book 3 this week of the Dai Katana Goblin Slayer side story. Now this week we're going to do it a little different. Instead of breaking it down how it went, we're going to take you through the journey of my experience reading this manga. So far, this is my favorite out of the 3 we have covered. We ended last week with these 2 girls yelling for help inside the Golden Knight. Now, the story picks up right after that. We see the girls, we see Cap, and everything here is letting us know something's going down. These girls are in a panic. Well, we find out that Cap and the gang, of course, as we know from the last book, are going to help them out. But we find out backstory. We find out that these girls are orphans. All 6 of their party members, and all they're trying to do is help another party. It's very heart-wrenching that these girls had to become adventurers because they were all orphans and they didn't want to get split up. So here's a little panel of it. You see the girls here. You have their party. You see Cap. There's just a whole bunch of emotion going on right now. They're in a panic. You see no other adventurers want to help them out. And Cap and the guys are like, yeah, we'll do it. And then this next picture here, I think it's actually really cool, and it shows how desperate these girls are for help. So right here, we have the wounded party members, and we have the girls' faces like, we need help more than anything. So I think that is really cool. And then we get one of my favorite panels of the manga. And if you guys know me pretty well, Magnus Swing from Black Clover, he has a saying, be a man among men. And we get this little clip right here. Then the manly thing to do would be to dashingly lend your aid to these fair maidens in need of it. Don't you agree? And you see Cap's face. The chemistry between those two is awesome. I'm loving it. There's a funny part we'll go over later, so you're definitely want to see that part a little later in the video. But I am loving the dynamic between these two. There's constantly joking around. Now I don't have the panels where they're constantly fighting over slimes, because we all know that she hates slimes, as we've went over in the last 2 episodes. So, or instead of going on and getting all these screenshots of it, you just got to take my word for it, okay? You just got to take my word for it, or you got to check out the book, okay? I'm loving this book. So now the next part is, remember how in, I believe, the first book, they gave female Bishop the job of taking over the maps from Memorimoid Monk, and we get a little fun scene between the two, right? He's giving her pointers, and he goes off saying so much stuff, and they're like, I think that's enough tips for today. And I laughed. I thought that scene was pretty funny. I was loving it. I don't know why, but it was great. I guess I forgot to save the picture, but everybody knows each one of these has a big gate. So there is a big gate that they have to go through, and once they break through that gate, we run into the Scruffy Men, the group of adventurers that kills other adventurers, or so we think. So you see the pure look of fear on female warrior's face, because like I said earlier, I think the Scruffy Men are the group of people that killed her original party, that when we met her, she was carrying 5 body bags. So that could be a thing. We'll find out. Who knows? There's still more story to tell. Now, this next part is probably the coolest sequence in the entire manga. Now, I really hope they animate this side story, which I doubt they'll do. Maybe we can get a fan animation. Maybe one day I can get good enough at animating and try to do this. Who knows? That would be the goal eventually, to get good that way. But now we're on a tangent. So let's check out these awesome fight scenes. So here we have Dai Katana. She's telling the scruffy men to come forth and die. Then he's cutting through them. Then we find out that Cap is actually able to get hurt. So he's like, no, it's only a scratch. And then he's like, oh shit, if this was poisoned, you know. So we have a great combat sequence there. Probably the best one out of the 3 books so far. And then, you know, they get their loot, right? So we see that half-elf Scout loves his treasure. This is becoming a character trait of him. He's always so happy. This scene makes me laugh. I really do love half-elf Scout and his love for all things treasure. He takes great pride in being able to pick locks. Now, I don't have the scene of what happens when the other guys do not take pride in picking the lock, but we did see earlier the damage from the guys. So you know what happens when you mess up a booby trap on a treasure chest. They do get through and they do save the party, and it's just so heartwarming that the orphan party girls get back together and they are able to reunite and save the people they've been desperately trying to save. When they're on their way out, Cap tells the girls that we need to conserve our energy and you have to carry the bodies yourself. And the whole party thinks he's being pretty harsh because they're just little girls. They're all 15. They're all newly adventurers. They've all been orphaned their whole life. So they're all getting mad at Cap. It even looks like half-elf Scout kind of like hits him. Like, what are you doing? So he pulls the body, and then half-elf Scout ends up helping out with the girls because he feels like he can help out because the front line's going to do most of the work. So he'll pull, and we get to the temple of the trade goddess, and we know they're all about money. They're little greedy gods. They're little nuns like, I recognize this party and they give me a lot of money, so we'll take good care of them, you know? And we find out that, hey, half-elf Scout's like, hey, we want some money too. And female wizard is not having it and smacks him on the head. And I thought that was funny. He's like, I want money too. And she's like, shut up. And it just makes me laugh. I'm really enjoying this book. I'm really enjoying the change of style that we're doing. I'm having way more fun reviewing these than I did earlier. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the video more too. And if you do, hit the button down below. You know, the little thing that looks like this. Yeah, do that if you wouldn't mind. And then we end up finding out a little bit more of the backstory in the world, and I'm loving that because, hey, I love the four-cornered world. It's all about Goblin Slayer. I own all the Goblin Slayer manga, so it's very awesome for me to be able to check it all out. So here we learn more about what's going on. The armies of death are now outside on the frontier, and some people are going to go do it, and Cap is just like, nah, we're going to finish the dungeon. My goal is to get rid of all the bad in the dungeon. So we find out that the party is the noble knight from the first one who stopped the fight, the second one who found the third floor, and now we find out that the guys that were hurt were his second party. So, you know, he's actually a really good guy. He's a noble. He's offered to pay them for helping them out, and he thanks them, and he does a whole bunch of stuff. And Cap says, if you want to give him a reward, give it to the young ladies because they did everything to save this guy. So Noble Knight's like, of course, let me give them to that. And he actually gets yelled at by his party, which is kind of funny. And female bishop backs him up because earlier on they were kind of talking about how the girls should get a reward as well. And he just was like, no, we've already discussed it. I discussed it with her. And she caught on to what he was saying and was like, yeah, exactly. We talked about it thoroughly and decided that the girls should get the reward. And half-elf Scout was like, yeah, we got a whole bunch of treasure anyway, so we're not going to go broke. Who cares? and it's a lot of fun. And we get more of this dynamic. She's like, please, now that she knows that they have all this money, and she's been bugging him for armor, and they're really cute together. It's so funny because back and forth they're always fighting and bickering like they're already a married couple, and it's kind of fun. And Cap gets caught. Look at this. He's peeking at her butt. Look, he's sweating. He's sweating. All right, so oh, he's sweating. And so they go and they get the new armor, and when they get to the armor shop, they find this dwarf who calls Cap like a walking wallet. And I'm just laughing because she's like, yep, he's just my wallet, right? And it's really funny. But this is the dwarf that we meet, and he's actually pretty cool so far. He fixes Cap's weapon so the katana's even stronger. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go outside. She's getting her measurements done, and he runs into this girl. I think it's a girl. It might be a boy. I can't tell by the clothes they're wearing, so I couldn't really tell. And then I don't have voices because it's a manga, so I think it's a girl. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, because all the drawings are kind of similar. So we find out that the scruffy men are newbie hunters, and that Cap and them all do the work to stop them, but there are men that just go out there that kill these adventurers, take all their stuff, and that's all they do. So we learn more about that. She runs off, and that is basically how the book ends. And I can't wait for book 4 that we go over. So that is everything from the Four Cornered World. If you like this, make sure to subscribe. We'll be doing more of these. Find out next week what happens in book 4, and I'll see you next time. Bye!